Today, we're going to reveal a simple change that has been proven to improve leg strength and balance and reduce the risk of falls by 30%. That's right, a fall, a painful fall. It happens every 3 seconds in the United States. In fact, a new study shows that every year more than 3 million older adults end up in the emergency room because of a fall. Many of these falls are caused by weakness in the legs or a lack of balance. But what if there was something you could do, something you could start today to help protect your legs and keep you steady on your feet no matter how old you get? Imagine this. You're 70, maybe 80, even 90 years old, and you still get up from your chair without help. You still take the stairs. You still go for walks. Your legs are strong, steady, and dependable. Now ask yourself, how many people your age can say the same? The truth is, most older adults struggle with weakness in the legs. They feel slower, less stable, and they silently wonder, is this how it starts? Am I heading toward a wheelchair? But what if one simple change, just one essential vitamin, could help protect your legs, improve your balance, and keep you walking strong for years to come? As you get older, your body changes. Your metabolism slows down, your muscles lose mass, and your bones become more fragile. By the time you reach your 90s, you may have lost as much as 50% of your muscle mass, making everyday activities like getting up from a chair or climbing a flight of stairs a daunting challenge. That's why it's so important to start taking care of your legs today, so that you can enjoy your golden years with mobility and ease. But what does that really mean? What can you do to make sure that your legs stay strong and healthy as you age? The answer, my friend, lies in one often overlooked nutrient, vitamin D. You see, vitamin D is not just essential for strong bones. It also plays a critical role in maintaining leg strength and balance. In fact, studies show that older adults who are deficient in vitamin D are twice as likely to experience a fall or injury from a fall than those with sufficient vitamin D levels. But here's the catch. As you age, your body's ability to absorb vitamin D from the sun and food decreases. This means that you need to take proactive steps to ensure that you're getting enough vitamin D every day. Now don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. In a moment, I'll share with you the exact amount of vitamin D you need to maintain strong, healthy legs. In addition to falls, leg weakness can also lead to other issues like pain and disability. Can you imagine the frustration and discomfort of dealing with leg pain every day? Or the limitations that come with not being able to walk or climb the stairs with ease? It's not a pretty picture. But here's the good news. Studies show that people who take vitamin D regularly have a 65% lower risk of developing leg pain. And when it comes to stair climbing, vitamin D is crucial. Research shows that people with higher levels of vitamin D are able to climb the stairs faster and with less fatigue than those with lower levels. Imagine being able to take the stairs with confidence and without feeling winded. With vitamin D, it's possible. So how much vitamin D do you need to keep your legs strong and healthy? According to experts, older adults should aim for at least 800 to 1,000 international units of vitamin D per day. But remember, it's always best to speak with your doctor before starting any new supplement regimen. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I get vitamin D? Well, luckily for you, there are plenty of foods that are naturally high in vitamin D, such as fatty fish, eggs, and certain types of mushrooms. But if you want a convenient and reliable way to get your daily dose of vitamin D, consider taking a supplement. In a moment, I'll tell you about a delicious tasting gummy that has helped thousands of people achieve their recommended daily intake of vitamin D. But first, I want to address a common concern. Is it safe to take vitamin D supplements long-term? The answer is yes, absolutely. In fact, studies show that taking vitamin D supplements is safe for most people when taken in the recommended amounts. So why wait? Start taking vitamin D today and experience the difference it can make in your overall health and well-being. Don't let another day go by without giving your legs the love they deserve. Invest in your future self and start reaping the benefits of a stronger, more stable you. Why is it so important to have strong legs? You might think it's so you can run faster or jump higher, but it's actually much more important than that. Your legs aren't just for movement. They're the foundation of your independence. Strong legs mean you can get out of bed safely, climb steps without fear, and even catch yourself if you trip. Maintaining leg strength is essential as you age because it allows you to maintain your balance, mobility, and freedom. But with age, many people experience something called age-related decline in lower body strength. And this decline doesn't happen overnight. It starts slowly. A little wobble here, a struggle to stand there. You might not even notice it at first, but one day, a small fall can turn into a broken bone, a hospital stay, and a mountain of medical bills. So the question is, how do we protect our legs before that happens? We need to build strength and balance into our daily lives. But how do we do that? Well, that's where this course comes in. Hi, I'm a physical therapist, and this course will show you how to do just that. Every week we'll add new content and send you reminders so you don't miss any of our weekly exercises and educational videos. By the end of the course, you'll have all the tools you need to protect your legs, prevent falls, and live a more active, confident life. Here's what you can expect from each weekly module. First, we'll educate you about a specific topic related to leg strength and balance. For example, did you know that one of the biggest causes of falls is weak ankles? That's right. When your ankle muscles are too weak to support your foot during a trip, you're much more likely to fall. So in one of the modules, I'll teach you how to strengthen your ankles with a simple exercise that you can do every day. Next, you'll learn how to incorporate that exercise and others into your daily routine. I know how hard it is to start a new exercise program, especially when you're already busy. So I'll teach you how to sneak in a few minutes of exercise throughout the day so it doesn't disrupt your schedule. Then we'll motivate you to keep going with a reminder of why you started in the first place: your independence. Imagine being able to walk down the street without worrying about tripping or falling, or being able to get up from a chair without having to use your hands for support. These are the things that many people take for granted until they lose their independence. But with strong legs, you can prevent that from happening. I know that you're capable of amazing things. I've seen it in the patients that I work with every day. They inspire me to keep going even when things get tough, and I hope that I can inspire you too. So are you ready to take the first step towards stronger, safer legs? If so, enroll in the course today. Don't wait another day to start taking care of your legs. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll see results. And remember, it's never too late to start. I've worked with people of all ages and abilities, and I know that you can do this. So what are you waiting for? Enroll today, and let's get started. Today I'm going to share with you the #1 vitamin that the medical industry does not want you to know about. This nutrient is actually considered a hormone, and it's surprisingly something very simple. In fact, you can get this nutrient by just walking outside for 20 minutes a day. But unfortunately, most people don't do this, and they end up being severely deficient, causing all sorts of physical limitations, especially as we age. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end so you can find out what foods you need to consume to get this nutrient. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I post new videos every single week on how to improve your health and your life. Let's begin. The sunshine vitamin. Did you know that your body can actually make this vitamin when you're exposed to sunlight? That's right. When your skin is exposed to the sun, it creates this vitamin. However, there's a big problem. Most people aren't outside that much anymore. In fact, most people spend over 90% of their lives indoors. Not only that, but as we age, our skin becomes thicker, and this makes it harder for our bodies to absorb this vitamin from the sun, so as a result, majority of the population is actually deficient and doesn't even know it. And believe it or not, this is very concerning because this nutrient is one of the most important vitamins for maintaining strong legs and preventing falls in older adults. In fact, here are 7 ways that this vitamin strengthens your legs as you age. #1. It improves muscle contraction. If you look at studies, you will find that people who are deficient in this vitamin have slower muscle twitch times. This basically means that if you're deficient, it takes longer for your muscles to contract in response to a stimulus. This is problematic because your muscles need to be able to respond quickly in order to maintain your balance and prevent falls. Number 2, it boosts calcium absorption. Calcium is one of the most important minerals for maintaining strong bones and healthy muscles. In fact, studies show that people who are deficient in vitamin D have significantly lower levels of calcium in their bones, making them more prone to fractures and making their muscles weaker. Number 3, it helps your nerves talk to your muscles. Did you know that your nerves send signals to your muscles telling them when to contract and relax? Well, if you're deficient in this vitamin, your nerves won't be able to communicate with your muscles effectively, which can lead to all sorts of problems, including muscle atrophy and weakness. Number 4, it reduces chronic inflammation. Did you know that chronic inflammation is a major cause of muscle loss and weakness as we age? Well, this vitamin D helps to reduce inflammation, which can help to preserve muscle mass and strength. Number 5, it improves balance control. If you're deficient in vitamin D, you'll find that your balance is definitely going to suffer. In fact, studies show that people who are deficient in vitamin D are 2 to 3 times more likely to fall and break a hip. Number 6, it helps with getting up and down. If you're deficient in vitamin D, you'll find it harder to get up and down from a chair. In fact, studies show that people who are deficient in vitamin D are 40% more likely to be unable to stand up from a chair after a fall. And number 7, it maintains stability while walking. If you're deficient in vitamin D, you may notice that you're not as stable on your feet while walking. In fact, studies show that people who are deficient in vitamin D are 2 to 3 times more likely to have a problem with their stability while walking. Now here's the kicker. A recent study found that 75% of adults over the age of 50 are actually deficient in vitamin D. And the worst part is that many of these people don't even know it because there's no symptoms for vitamin D deficiency, at least in the beginning. That's why it's so important to get your vitamin D levels checked on a regular basis. So now you might be wondering, how do I get vitamin D? Well, luckily for us, we can get vitamin D from a variety of foods, including fatty fish like salmon and sardines, as well as from foods that are fortified with vitamin D, such as milk and yogurt. You can also take a supplement, but I recommend getting it from the foods that I mentioned. If you're concerned about your bone health, you may have heard that getting enough vitamin D is crucial to prevent osteoporosis and fractures. But with so many people lacking this essential nutrient, there's a big question. Where do you even get vitamin D? And how much do you actually need? In this video, I'll answer these questions and shed light on the recommended daily intake of vitamin D for maintaining strong, healthy bones as you age. Let's get started. There are 3 main places where you can get vitamin D: sunlight, food, or supplements. Let's start with number 1, sunlight. Your skin produces vitamin D when exposed to sunlight, specifically the UVB rays. However, as we age, this process becomes less efficient. In fact, it's estimated that people over 70 years old only produce 1/4 of the vitamin D from sunlight compared to young adults. Additionally, if you're indoors most of the day or live in a colder climate where sunlight is limited, it can be challenging to get enough vitamin D from the sun. Now let's talk about number 2, food. While it's great to get nutrients from food, it can be tricky to get enough vitamin D solely from your diet. This is because foods that are high in vitamin D, such as egg yolks, fatty fish like salmon and sardines, liver, and fortified dairy or plant milks, are often high in cholesterol or calories, which may not be suitable for everyone. Also, mushrooms exposed to sunlight contain vitamin D. The more exposure to sunlight, the higher the vitamin D content. So if you're looking to boost your vitamin D levels through your diet, consider adding mushrooms to your meals. Now let's discuss the third option: supplements. With our busy lifestyles and the challenges of getting enough vitamin D from sunlight and food alone, It's no wonder why so many people turn to supplements. Fortunately, supplements are widely available and can be an effective way to boost your vitamin D levels. According to research, most doctors recommend 800 to 2000 IU of vitamin D3 per day for adults over 65. The exact amount you need may depend on several factors, including your current vitamin D levels, health conditions, and lifestyle. It's important to talk to your doctor before starting any new supplements, especially if you take blood-thinning medications or have a medical condition. But know this, a simple supplement could be the missing key to stronger legs and better bone health. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing vitamin D from sunlight and certain foods. And as previously mentioned, it's estimated that people over 70 years old only produce 1/4 of the vitamin D from sunlight compared to young adults. That means it's more important than ever to find ways to boost your vitamin D intake as you enter your golden years. Fortunately, there are some simple steps you can take to increase your vitamin D levels and improve your overall bone health. First, consider adding a daily vitamin D supplement to your routine. As we discussed, most doctors recommend a dosage between 800 to 2000 IU of vitamin D3 per day for adults over 65. Taking a daily supplement is a convenient and effective way to ensure that you're getting enough vitamin D to maintain strong bones and prevent osteoporosis. Second, you can try consuming foods that are naturally high in vitamin D, such as egg yolks, fatty fish, mushrooms, and fortified dairy products. These foods not only provide vitamin D, but also other essential nutrients that support bone health, such as calcium and omega-3 fatty acids. Third, if you're able to, spend some time outdoors in the sunshine. Even just 10 to 15 minutes of sun exposure per day can help your body produce vitamin D. Be sure to protect your skin from overexposure by wearing sunscreen and protective clothing. Fourth, consider taking a walk in the park or joining a walking group to make staying active more enjoyable. Exercise not only helps maintain strong bones, but also improves balance and reduces the risk of falls, which is especially important as we age. Finally, don't forget to schedule regular checkups with your doctor. Your doctor can measure your vitamin D levels and make recommendations for supplements or lifestyle changes to help you maintain optimal bone health. They may also recommend other preventive measures, such as bone density tests or medications to reduce the risk of fractures. By following these tips and taking proactive steps to improve your bone health, you can enjoy a higher quality of life and independence as you age. Remember, a little effort goes a long way toward a healthier, happier you. You know, there's so much misinformation out there that it's really hard to separate what's real from what's fake. But when it comes to your health, you deserve real science, real results. Multiple studies have shown that seniors who take vitamin D have significantly better balance, recover faster from falls, and injuries, show improvements in muscle performance, especially in their legs, and have lower rates of fractures and hospitalizations. And I'm not talking about some fake news article you read online. I'm talking about real science. In one study, for example, researchers measured the leg strength and standing ability of a group of seniors, some of whom were as old as 94. They found that just by restoring their vitamin D levels, these seniors showed measurable improvement in their leg strength and standing ability. This is real science, real impact, and it's available to everyone. But here's the thing. Most of us don't get enough vitamin D, especially as we age. Our skin becomes less efficient at absorbing vitamin D from the sun, and many of the foods that are rich in vitamin D, like fatty fish and egg yolks, are also high in cholesterol. So it can be tough to get enough without taking a supplement. And that's why it's important to know which sources of information you can trust. You need real science. That's why it's so important to be able to spot fake news and misinformation. Because when it comes to your health, you deserve real science, real results. That's why I'm committed to bringing you the most up-to-date, accurate and reliable information on the benefits of vitamin D. I want you to be able to make informed decisions about your health and wellness. Now let me share with you another way that vitamin D can help improve your health. If you struggle with low energy levels or fatigue, vitamin D may be able to help. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that people with low vitamin D levels were more likely to report symptoms of depression and fatigue. Another study published in the Journal of Translational Medicine found that increasing vitamin D levels in people with depression significantly reduced their fatigue. So if you're feeling tired or fatigued all the time, it might be worth talking to your doctor about your vitamin D levels. Could be a simple solution to a problem that you've been dealing with for a long time. It's important to note that while vitamin D can make a big difference, it's not a magic bullet. There are other factors that can contribute to fatigue, such as poor sleep habits, stress, and certain medical conditions. But vitamin D is definitely worth considering as part of your overall wellness routine. So how much vitamin D do you need? Well, according to the National Institutes of Health, most people should aim for around 600 to 800 international units per day. However, the amount of vitamin D that you need may vary, depending on a number of factors, such as your age, skin color, and sun exposure. If you're not sure how much vitamin D you need, talk to your doctor. They can help you determine the right amount for you based on your individual needs. The best way to get your daily dose of vitamin D is through a combination of diet and supplements. As I mentioned earlier, fatty fish and egg yolks are great sources of vitamin D, but you can also get it from fortified foods such as milk, yogurt, and orange juice. Of course, nothing beats sunshine. Just 10 to 30 minutes of moderate sun exposure a day can help you get your fill of vitamin D. Just be sure to protect your skin with sunscreen if you're going to be spending more time in the sun. Supplements are a great way to ensure that you're getting enough vitamin D, especially if you can't get enough from your diet or the sun. There are many different types of vitamin D supplements available, but the best one for you will depend on your individual needs and preferences. Some people prefer to take a daily vitamin D tablet, while others prefer a liquid or spray. There are even some vitamin D gummies available for those who have trouble swallowing pills. No matter what form of vitamin D supplement you choose, it's important to follow the recommended dosage on the label. Taking too much vitamin D can lead to a number of problems, including nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and kidney stones. If you're looking for a high-quality vitamin D supplement, I recommend checking out the ones available on my website. These supplements are third-party tested to ensure purity and potency, and they're formulated with all the essential nutrients you need to stay healthy. I'm committed to bringing you the most up-to-date, accurate, and reliable information on the benefits of vitamin D, so be sure to stay tuned for more informative videos. Together, we can make informed decisions about our health and wellness and live happier, healthier lives. Well, you don't have to accept weakness. You don't have to fear every step you take. There's a way to protect your strength. There's a way to walk with confidence, even in your 80s and 90s. And it all begins with awareness of one simple nutrient. So ask yourself, have I checked my vitamin D levels lately? Am I doing what I can to protect my legs and my independence? Because in the end, strong legs don't just carry you, they carry your life. Hi there, welcome or welcome back. Today we're talking about how to get stronger legs, particularly for those of you that are experiencing some leg weakness, maybe a little bit of instability, and especially for those of you who are worried about falling. We've been discussing this series on what are the best foods to eat, how to exercise, and we've also talked about how important vitamin D is to bone health. So today we're going to bring it all together. You know, when I work with people one-on-one, we look at their diet, we look at their exercise, but we also do a deep dive into their labs. It's important to understand where you're at, but there are certain things that we can do to not only improve your quality of life, but to truly help transform your health. And it begins with testing. When you think about your daily routine, what does it look like? How many stairs do you go up and down? Are you carrying groceries? Do you go out for your morning walk? These are great things to think about because if we add in a few key nutrients, it makes a big difference, but we need to make sure that we're protecting our legs. And so I want to talk a little bit about this as well. So here are 3 things that you can do right now that will make a huge impact on your leg strength. Number 1, check your vitamin D levels. There's a link below to help you with that. This is a very simple blood test. If you're concerned, it's something you should do. Now, it's important to realize that vitamin D is essential to bone health. We know that vitamin D helps absorb calcium. Calcium is essential to strong bones. But did you know that vitamin D also helps regulate phosphorus? Phosphorus works with calcium and vitamin D to help build bone. In fact, vitamin D is an active form of a hormone. It has many benefits, and having enough vitamin D is protective against falls. Number 2, make sure that you're getting enough protein in your diet. Protein provides the building blocks to both bone and muscle. When we think about repairing a muscle, we're repairing bone, we're building bone, we need amino acids. If you're not eating enough protein, you may be breaking down muscle, and you may be losing bone density. So make sure that you're including enough protein in your daily diet. The easiest thing to do is to simply take a look at the labels on the foods that you eat. It's easier than you think. You just add up the grams of protein to see if you're hitting your targets. But if you're having trouble with mobility, you might want to consider taking a protein powder, or you might want to consider getting some high-protein snacks. You can actually gain a lot of weight by consuming high-protein snacks. In fact, it's a much better strategy than trying to eat a big meal. And lastly, number 3, you need to move. We've talked about this throughout this entire series, but there are some key exercises that you can do to really strengthen your legs. And you can actually do these while you're watching TV. You can do them in the morning when you wake up. You can do them in the afternoon, but squats, lunges, and calf raises are excellent ways to strengthen your lower extremities. These are the muscles that support you up on your tippy fair. And the more that you work these muscles, the stronger they become.
If you're new here, please subscribe. We put out new videos each and every week, and I would love to have you join this wonderful community. So if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. It helps others find this video and helps our channel grow. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. And here's to your strong legs and your long life.